Hey guys, it is Kendra and Shae here. I'm Shae, that's Kendra. And we wanted to just take a couple of minutes to introduce who we are, how we ended up in this beautiful place in Costa Rica, which is where we both now live, and for you to just get to know us a little bit as your leaders for the Reclaim Explant Embodiment Retreat. And we thought it would also be kind of cool to share how we met each other as well. So I'm from Toronto, from Canada originally, and I have now been here in Costa Rica for just over a year and a half. And I really was drawn to come to this place for a handful of different reasons, but in this particular for our retreat, which I think makes it so special, is Costa Rica really has this frequency, this vibration that just exudes healing in general. And so you can't help but to come to this place, even if you're not meaning to heal, to feel something. It's like Costa Rica just holds you and starts pushing things to the surface that you need to address emotionally or mentally and physically. And so I couldn't think of a better place for us to be hosting this retreat. And in my journey and my story, this is actually where I had my explant surgery. And so last March in 2022, I had my explant surgery in San Jose. And coming out of that experience, there were so many things that I wasn't prepared for. I prepared as much as I could, like mentally and physically. I knew that the journey ahead was going to be difficult. I knew it was going to be challenging. But until you go through it, you don't know what you don't know. And as much as other people tell you, it's still not the same because all of our experiences are different. And the commonality that I found was there was this gap. And that gap is women having a place to be physically coming together to feel supported after explanting. And so fast forward like about 6 months after my journey, and for me, one of the hardest things that I was navigating physically and emotionally through was looking at myself in the mirror and seeing how cut up I was and seeing my scars. And I had met up with a friend who found me on Instagram and heard my story. She is motivated to get explant herself and remove her implants, and wanted to ask me some questions. And I'm very open about that. Maybe some of you guys have already met me in my DMs on Instagram, sharing and exchanging stories and questions. And so I met up with her, and when I was telling her about my scars, she said to me, she was like, "You need to go see Kendra." She actually called her like a body worker. She's just like, she's amazing at what she does. She does body work, and you need to go see her. I was like, okay, well, like enough said for me. Like if it has to do with my surgery and it has to, it'll help advance my healing, like I'm all for that. And I've done many different things, you know, from like around like different detoxing to sound healing, like all different stuff that I'm like bringing in to really support my journey on healing. And Kendra was probably the biggest missing piece. And so when I went and I met Kendra, I came in and she was like, "Okay, tell me why you're here." And I was like, I actually don't know why I'm here. I was like, a friend of mine told me to come see you, and that was enough. She said, like, you could help me. And I had a surgery. So, you know, this is why I'm here. So when I was with Kendra, I went off on this tangent. She's like, "Okay, well, tell me about yourself." So I'm like telling her that I'm in real estate, and like that is like my main line of work. And I've been in luxury real estate in Toronto, and I've been doing real estate in Costa Rica for over 10 years with our affiliates down here. And then telling her all the things like I love. Like if you guys follow me, you know that health, chemical-free living, toxic-free living is a huge, it's everything in my life. And it's what finally drew me to confronting myself with how I live. It's like I care about the quality of my water, what's in my water, the food I'm eating, where I get it from, my farmers, organic, clean, you know, I'm the essential oil queen, all of this stuff. And going, okay, well, what about these toxic things that are in my body? You know, and literally, this is like what I told her. So I was like, you know, and then I got a kidney infection, and it really, that was the moment, that was the critical moment that had me confront what was going on in my body and saying, is this causing it? Is it impacting it? Is it making it worse? And that was one of the drivers that made my decision to explant. And, you know, so I share this with Kendra, and I'm going, okay, I'm going off on a tangent, maybe like how I'm kind of doing right now. Maybe it feels like that right now. But I said to her, I was like, so this is like all of me, you know, from like this multifaceted business entrepreneur, health lover, you know, chemical free living, beach lover, sun goddess worshiper, like all of this stuff. I'm here in Costa Rica, and I found Kendra, and she goes, well, I'm a scar expert, and this is like what I do. I could have started crying on the table because it's been the hardest thing for me post my surgery. And so I am so excited for Kendra to share more about her and her background. And after she does that, we'll tell you why we're bringing this retreat together for you guys.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Kendra, and just like Shae, I'm another Canadian. I'm actually a prairie girl. I'm originally from Winnipeg, and I've worked in many different countries all over the world, and I've landed myself also in Costa Rica. I've been here for a year and a half now, and I absolutely love it for all the reasons that Shae was just describing. There's something just so healing about being here. Not only does it just slow you down, but just being so close to nature and having that cyclical kind of rhythm just become part of your daily life. It's very, very powerful, and there's so much healing potential that can be done here. And like Shae was describing, a lot of people come into my office for a very similar kind of reason. So I'm an athletic therapist. I've been an athletic therapist for 10 years. I went to University of Montreal, but I have since kind of niched myself into working with scars because they have been by far the most powerful way that you can transform your body, your energy, and your mind. They are just an amazing well of resource for transformation, oftentimes like untapped. Most people don't really know the potential of the scar and how much it can affect. So when Shae was just describing, like, I just came into your office and I didn't know what I was doing. Like, the amount of times that people come into my office and say that, they're like, I just heard that you were great at what you do. I don't really know why I'm here. It's the first I've heard that scars are affecting me. And here I am. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I work with scars in a multitude of different ways. I'm like multifaceted, kind of getting at full holistic integrative health from many different angles. And it's a huge passion of mine. And I used to actually work a lot with women who were 10 years ago getting breast implants put in the body. I've worked with tons of women who have abdominal surgeries from, appendix, hysterectomies, C-sections, episiotomies, thyroid. In general, women have a lot more scarring on our bodies. And then just most recently, I put up an ad in one of the social media groups just in the local area here in Costa Rica. And I had an absolute inundation of flood of women coming to see me. So now I work regularly here. I have places that I work. I have a home clinic, but I also have another office that I work at. And I am working just with women who have explanted. And I'm trying to not only educate them on the importance of the scars and how to work them fully, but also help them understand that there's so much potential for empowerment and embodiment that they didn't even realize was possible. They're just kind of living with the scars, living with these feelings inside, and it just totally doesn't need to be like that. And if you give them the right stimulus, container, environment, support, it's one of my favorite things to let women, to just watch and witness women really set their lives on fire. It's so beautiful, and I'm very grateful to be part of that. And Shae was one of my clients that I got to witness that transformation with.
Yeah. And so, I mean, in short, you guys can hear Kendra and I come from very different backgrounds and areas of not even just expertise. We're just in totally different industries, different walks of life. And explanting is the commonality that brought us together through my scars. And hearing the work that she has been doing, and even at the time, it was probably my third session with Kendra that she had mentioned. She was like, you know, I have this like app that I'm thinking about bringing back into the world, like online for like explanting. I've been like pushing information and videos in there because I keep getting more and more women that are coming to me specifically that have explanted. And Kendra didn't know at the time in sharing that with me that I'd been holding on to this vision since really like April of last year. I was about 7-8 weeks post-op when I had this thought that something needs to be available for women. And when I was on a yoga retreat in Nosara, which is where we're hosting our retreat in April. So that's kind of special for me personally, because this is where I think I really dived into the beginning of my healing journey. And I came on a yoga retreat, and the way that I was held, the way that space was created for me in that time really ignited this thought and turned into a vision. And so when I met Kendra, like 6 months later, through the scar work, and then also hearing her talk about this app, I was like, this is like it. Like, we need to come together. You know, I'm very much like in the business realm, like business mind. I'm obsessed with things of personal development and leveling up and optimizing our health and the way that we live, you know, so what we're putting in our body and our minds through meditation and gratitude practices and intentional journaling, to what we are using in our bodies and on our bodies, from skin products to makeup to the quality of our food and water and all of this stuff that is a huge part of my life, and bringing it in with Kendra's expertise in the scar work and movement and breath work. I was like, we got to do something together. Like, there is such a beautiful gift that we can give to women to be able to bring in all of these different healing modalities and healing tools, really physically, mentally, and emotionally, that should be available. Many women don't realize that they even need these tools. And if they need them, they might not know where to get them or how to utilize them or have the resources to do it. And we really wanted to curate this in a week-long journey where we get to come in together and move through a restoration process and bring into this rejuvenation, this re-excitement, this reigniting of self in all of the avenues, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And then coming out feeling like you've come home to yourself, this journey of coming home and feeling realigned, stepping into your power, feeling confident coming out of this, feeling strong, and also feeling like really proud, you know, like this. And that's part of that embodiment, this idea of the internal work. And then we got to have that be reflected out externally. And so we want to end the week feeling powerful, and stepping back into that strength.
And just one more important piece that I wanted to share is that we get to do this in community, in connection with women who have been through the exact same experience, and you get to grow and share and connect through that experience. That is so powerful. I think that makes the entire healing journey that much more rich, that much more robust, and that much more powerful to be able to be, you know, in that group, closed container, having Shae, who's been through the experience herself. I think that that's just so beautiful.
Thank you. And it is, you're so right about bringing that community together and being able to have other women who understand what you've gone through, you know, because you can have the support of people, you know, but unless like you've gone through it, like a lot of people are still just not going to understand it fully. And so this is an opportunity for the women to be able to come together and meet and be in community, be in connection with other women who have gone through this and have journeyed. And I really believe there's going to be incredible relationships that are going to be made probably for life. And so we're really, really excited to bring this to you ladies through Reclaim. And we just really felt that that word kind of summed up everything we just said, right? It's like reclaiming self emotionally, physically, mentally, and this coming home and reclaiming her, reclaiming like, you know, you. And so we're just so excited to bring it. And we just wanted to share this with you so you could get to know us a little bit. And if you have questions, we're available. You can book a discovery call with us to do a one-on-one. You can also drop us a DM in Instagram on any of the channels, you know, on our Explant one or on Kendra and mine on our personal one. That is always available to you. And we just hope that we get to meet you at some point and that you will come for a week to experience this journey of coming home.